sound as though Rosa is a baker of some sort. Maybe she's not, maybe she is. I'll talk about Rosa that a little bit later. But one of the key features of today's conference is that we're showcasing the best of the best across many fields, and Rosa's career certainly fulfills that brief. Now overseeing connective3's Manchester office as business director, she's got a huge experience in digital PR and content creation, whether that be standalone campaigns or long-term strategic roadmaps for household brands such as Nike. Rosa's here to talk about creating markets that works and understanding your target market and what they want to see so that everybody's a winner, and maybe, who knows, a baker as well. Rosa, please.
Hi everyone, thank you for that lovely intro. I'm actually going to be talking about something a little bit different though, how to produce creative organic strategies that lead to sales. So I'm from an agency called connective3. We're a full service digital agency. We've recently launched a new product called C360, which is all about huge creative campaigns and how they can really help build your brand, affect the bottom line of your business, and really take you to the next level. So if you want to chat to us about that today, we've got a stand in the hall a little bit there. I'm going to talk to you today specifically about creative organic strategies and how they can impact your bottom line. So a little bit of background for me there, but I think it was covered really nicely in my intro. So what does digital marketing look like in 2023? Online growth since COVID has exploded. I know not all of you here will be e-commerce businesses, but even services online have seen a massive increase, and this is only going to get bigger and bigger. People who were previously not very technically proficient are now online and buying everything online and just kind of love that online. So we can capitalize on this by thinking about the importance of search visibility. Search visibility is basically making sure that you are ranking for those keywords that your audiences are searching for that relate to your products, and they are really important. And 68% of all online experiences begin with a search engine, so it's really important that you know how to make those search engines work for you. 53% of all website traffic comes from organic search, so that's not social media, it's not paid, it's not advertisement, it's actual organic search. Let's be honest, mainly on Google. Sorry if anyone here uses Bing, but Google's the best. And then as business owners, as people working in marketing, we can really capitalize on this. And there are 3 ways to make sure that you're at the top of Google. I'm sure you all know about making sure you've got content that converts, making sure you've got a technically sound website so it loads quickly, the pictures are good, there's no kind of bugs there, and then making sure that you have really good creative organic strategies that lead to links. So creative organic strategies, that's like a little bit of a complex way of saying link building or digital PR. Links are incredibly important when it comes to ranking on Google. They are the second most important ranking metric according to a report from Google this year. And basically when Google looks at your website and it sees that it's got strong authoritative links, it sees that it's trustworthy, and it shows that other websites are pointing back to your website saying that, yeah, this is what should be ranking, this is important content, this is what your audience is looking for. And the first ranking page on Google has an average of 3.8 times more backlinks than positions 2 to 10. So it really does make a difference to where you are. And the more backlinks a page has, the more organic traffic it gets from Google. So it makes a real difference. And then it's not just about building links, but it's about diversifying your links as well. So the most top ranking pages get followed backlinks from new websites at a pace of 5% to 14.5% per month. So it's all great to have like one big link building campaign, but you need to keep it consistent. So we do face some potential challenges as marketers or business owners. People find link building really difficult. It's one of the most difficult SEO tasks according to a lot of SEO experts. And we also don't know how to measure it effectively. So we've all stood in front of our stakeholders and come up with a really great creative idea and then got that question, but what's the ROI? Where does the money come from? Why are we doing this? And that's what we'll get into today. So yeah, how do we create them and then measure them effectively? So I've just thrown a load of really kind of dry stats at you. So to get you back in the room, I'm going to talk about sex, or sex toys specifically. So one of our clients is called Sinful, and they are a sex toy client. Really, really fun to work with, can come up with really fun campaigns for them. And they are competing with the likes of Love Honey and Summers and lots of websites and lots of businesses that are really well established. They came to us to ask if we'd be able to build their online presence and get them ranking in the top 3 for the term sex toys, which then had a massive impact on the revenue. Really, really fun campaign to work with, obviously. It's not like working for finance client. You can be really creative with it and you can have a lot of fun with it, which I'll go into. So we had a 3-tiered strategy for this. We did product gifting to sexual wellness, health and lifestyle journalists. We did creative survey-led content around sexual communication habits in the UK. And then we went to the regional and national journalists for that. And then we did more tame relationship style expert opinion pieces for women's lifestyle and entertainment press. And also Sinful had a really great blog on site that we could take a lot of content from and make that work for us. And at C3, we call that strategic creativity. We do planned campaigns, which are the survey-led big design pieces. We do reactive PR, which is also known as newsjacking, which I'll go into a little bit later. And we do proactive as well, which is taking the content that's already on site and link building through that. And we saw some fantastic results. So 18 links through the product gifting, 20 links through the survey-led content, and 19 links through the relationship content over the course of 6 months. And you might have heard of some really amazing campaigns that have built hundreds of links that don't sound too great compared to this. But when we really break down and look at what we actually did, we saw a 127% increase in visibility. Obviously got those 63 links, but we also saw over 5,000, oh, this is the wrong, oh, sorry. But we also saw the domain authority increase by 15 points. Sorry, I thought I had a slide on the revenue increase, but we saw a 150% increase in revenue, which is what we're looking for overall, which is brilliant. And I'm sure you're not all working with sex toy clients. I mean, we can't all do all the fun stuff. So there are loads of things that you can do if you are working for a client that's, say, a finance client or a law client or a anything just a little bit more not e-commerce and service-led. And I recommend, if you're really into thinking about link building, that you take a picture of this slide, because these 10 questions you can all work with to make sure you can build links from. So if you work with any charities, you can get a charity to link back to your page. If you're launching new products, if you're on a recruitment drive, you can get regional press to talk about that. If you've got loads of marketing plans, you can make that work for you by turning them into press releases. Any corporate social responsibility work works well in trade press. A spokesperson can comment for you. If you're seeing consumer trends, that can work really well across brand publications. If you've got a list of old campaigns, repurpose them. If you've got a content calendar, go out with that for PR. And if you've got a list of old media placements, make sure they're still linking. If they're not, do a little bit of link reclamation and get those links back. So you can recreate the type of campaigns we were talking about them for yourself and for your brand, even if it's not as fun of a product. I've got loads of information in the next few slides, so I'm going to go through them quite quickly. If it's too quick for you, I'll send out the slides to everyone who wants them, or you can come chat to me afterwards. So, the PR process. We get a brief from our SEO team, or we look into what is the most important keywords that we want to rank for. So say, for example, you were working for a car finance client, and you wanted to rank for bad credit car finance, because that's the keyword that's going to convert the most, and that's the keyword that's going to bring in the most money. You'll do a campaign then about what to do if you've got bad credit and you want to apply for a car, or you'll do something a little bit bigger, a little bit more interesting. How many people don't know that they've got bad credit until they bring out their first financial product? And you do it that way and you work through that way, so you find out what the topic that you need to do is based on those keywords and create your campaigns around that. Then do your research. So what have you done before? What are you trying to achieve? And who is your audience? Have a big creative brainstorm. We'll go into how to do that properly later. Create the idea, and then outreach and reporting. So we'll go through each of these. So the tools that can help with SEO are all there. I use SEMrush probably the most out of all these. They show the keywords that you're ranking for now, the keywords that your competitors are ranking for, and the keywords that are most important for you to create your campaigns around. But all these tools are really good for that. So to find your audience, there are a lot of different things that you can do. Google Analytics is a really useful one. I'm sure you all have GA4. You can find out who your demographic is, their location, their interests, and you can find out loads of information, and you can then make sure that the campaign that you're creating is going to be attractive to your audience. You can use social listening tools. So we use a tool called Linkfluence. It's super useful, loads of data. It's very expensive. So there are some free ones. Audience, you can get one free report a month, and it is really useful and really detailed. And if you're only one brand, then that works all right for you. And then Social Searcher is another free tool, and it's just, you can search hashtags, you can search your brand name, and it comes up with what people are talking about on social media about you. You can take all of that information, make sure your audience is going to be interested in your campaign. BuzzSumo is also a great one for your backlink research, but again, a paid for tool. You can use Google search terms if you really don't want to pay for any of the tools. Research topics. So this is the perfect trifecta of what a really good creative campaign is. Something that your audience is interested in, something that your journalists that you're targeting are going to write about, and then something that's very relevant to your business as well. You might come up with a brilliant creative idea, but it might have absolutely no tie back to your business at all. And Google's really smart, and Google can tell what's relevant to you and what isn't. So if you are a credit card business, and you do a campaign about the best places in the UK to find rabbits, then it's just not going to work. Just not going to work. That campaign probably wouldn't work anyway. What gets campaign cut through? So there are loads of different ways to format your campaign, to do your campaign. You can do expert opinions, reviews, surveys. Instagram there you can see is really useful, and especially for travel. If you're in travel, anything like the most Instagram places work really well. Bucket lists, research, itinerary, and road trips. There is an updated version of this that's got a few more on that I can send through to people, but there's loads of different ways to format your campaigns. And then these are really great tools to find out awareness days, what people are looking for, what people are interested in. You have a look at all of them and see what's going to work for you. And then once you've done all your research, you need to do your brainstorming. So one of the biggest mistakes I see from my team is people coming into a brainstorm without doing the prior research. It's very, very hard to be creative when you go in there without really knowing what you're thinking about. Make sure you do your research first. I've not got loads of time, so I'm not going to go into loads of techniques, but we do have a really good blog on the C3 website of how to have really good brainstorms. I'm sure you've all done them before. There's lots of different ways to do them. Just make sure you do your research first. So there are a few things that you need to make sure once you've come up with your creative campaigns that you are working towards. Can you generate multiple angles from your campaign? I had a really great client, did a campaign for them on the World Cup. It was about how much it cost to travel to the World Cup across the different years. There was a few delays in it. We managed to get it out the week before the World Cup, got 2 links, and then the World Cup was over, and there was nothing we could do with it. And we didn't think about generating any other angles from it, how we could reuse that data. It was very tunnel visioned, and you need to make sure that you troubleshoot your campaign so you don't get 2 links and then wasted all your money. Can you go local? So one of the big ways to get links is to go to regional press. So if you're doing a survey on people's attitudes towards travel in 2024 with the cost of living crisis, get that demographic data from regions. Always try and do cities rather than northwest, northeast, because you can really break down that city data, and there's lots of regional press, and they'll only cover something when it has that regional angle. And can you make it evergreen? Don't do a World Cup piece, because then you can only use it once every 4 years without any other angles. Okay, newsjacking. So you might have heard of newsjacking before. If there's anything going on in the press, you can jump on it and you can come up with an expert commentary, an expert opinion, and send that out, and then journalists will cover it if it's a really breaking topic that everyone is talking about at the moment. It's a really useful way to get those links quickly if you don't have the budget for big creative campaigns. What you'd need, what's really essential for this, is an expert who can sign off quotes quickly. Or you can get your expert to write a bank of quotes that might be about, for example, the cost of living crisis or inflation or something that's happening kind of all the time, and you know the talking points. Get them signed off and then get them sent out when that's in the news again. BuzzSumo also shows you like what the trending topics are, which is really useful. And then awareness days are a really good one for this. We worked with a housing client, and we used to get them on The Guardian all the time, every time the house price index came out, because they just comment on the differences in the prices. So much so that the Guardian journalists started coming to us a week beforehand. So have a look at what's relevant to your business, to your brand when it comes to awareness days, and see what you can comment on that, and ask journalists what they'll need and what they'll want. And that's, again, a much cheaper way to build links than big creative campaigns, even though we love big creative campaigns. And again, keep it relevant. No rabbit examples here, but this is Wren. We can do really nice campaigns for them. They're a kitchen supplier, obviously. And we can do things like cooking with a partner is key for long-lasting relationships for Valentine's Day, because it's all about cooking. We can do about recipes, really nice recipes. And obviously, we can do nice design ideas for kitchens as well. What we wouldn't do is anything to do with finance, anything to do with visiting Chernobyl, or anything to do with like motorway services. If you have a big creative campaign, you think it's going to be amazing, make sure you have that tie into your brand. And the next thing you need to do is build up really detailed media lists. So these are really important when it comes to creating big campaigns. we need journalists to cover our content and we need to get those backlinks. We don't want to bother journalists with an email that's completely irrelevant to them. If they are a lifestyle journalist, you don't want to go to them with anything to do with trade or business. And if they are a finance journalist, you don't want to go to them with travel. You need to be really specific with your media lists. And if you are in a specific niche area and have a niche campaign, it shouldn't take you too long to build up a good media list of 20 to 25 contacts that will be really interested in your topic. Try not to do just a massive send out to everyone, because it can really annoy journalists, and they get like 60 press releases a day, so you've really got to make sure yours is super relevant and breaks through that noise. There's just some tools there that you can use for media lists. You can also do it yourself as well using Google Search, Twitter. Takes a lot longer, but it's a lot cheaper. BuzzStream is a way that we send out our emails, so you can do it manually as well. On BuzzStream, it's pretty good because you can do A/B testing of your subject line. You can see how many open rates you've got, and you can see what kind of is most interesting to people you're sending those emails to, which is a really useful way to get out there. But the future of digital PR is about much more than measuring links. Again, if you're speaking to your stakeholders about having this amazing campaign, it's really creative, it's really fun, and you say, oh, we're going to get 60 links from it, you might just get, well, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? 60 links, like, it's great for brand, but what else? So there are different factors you can track. First of all, of course, the number of links. Make sure you're checking that. Is it a followed or a no-followed link? Because a followed link has much more SEO value than a non-followed. What kind of traffic increase have you seen from when you started your campaign? Have you seen any visibility increases from when you started your campaign? Any kind of conversions or assisted conversions that you can track back to when you started? You can use social listening tools to see if your sentiment around your brand has changed. So we use that as a secondary KPI for some of our clients. We worked with a debt management company. Once we started doing campaigns around about helping people pay debt better, helping people understand their finances, we saw on social media and on forums the sentiment of our client changing from, like, I think it was 76% negative to being 74% positive, which was a really brilliant thing to see, and the stakeholders love that. It is a secondary metric, but it's something that you can report on. Share of voice, are people talking about your brand when they're talking about the product? And then the social impact as well. So how many times have you been published? There's just ways that you can look for your links there. Google search commands is probably the simplest and cheapest, and then you can use the tools that I mentioned before. Number and type of link. So follow or no follow, really important. Is it an authoritative link? So what is the domain authority of the website that the link is coming from? Is it relevant? Talked about that. Is it from a new referring IP address? So have you got this link before, or is it a brand new link? Because it'll be more valuable if it's new. Is it syndicated? If you want to ask me about syndication later, come and ask me. It's a lot to go into now. Is it on an affiliate site? So affiliate links won't have any SEO value at all, so you can't really count them. And is the website a scraper, which is like one of them weird little sites online that no one runs, and they're all run by bots and they just have no value. So you can look for your search visibility using those tools there. Super easy, just shows you a really nice graph, really great to share in front of stakeholders. Traffic increases, so this is one of the things that really makes a big difference and really people love to see. So you can make a little note on Google Analytics when you started doing your link building campaigns, and you can see if your traffic has increased to your core pages that you want your keywords to be ranking for, so those category pages, or to your home page as well. So it's important that you start tracking when you start doing these campaigns. And then you can set up a data studio as well to help you really see that impact. So they're pretty easy to set up. You can see the number of links that you built when you input them into Google Sheets, and then it shows you as well the differences each month. And then you can also put visibility charts on there as well, and you can just have it all in one place to see the real impact that your links are having. It's a super useful tool to have. So as I said before, you can build hundreds of amazing links for your site. It's not going to make any difference if your site takes ages to load, the pictures are bad, the content's bad, and it doesn't convert, and it doesn't tell people what they need to know. People are not going to convert, and they're not going to buy, and you probably won't be up there on Google either. So it's really important to have those three key areas working together. So the bottom line, link building combined with SEO can reduce the cost of a customer acquisition by 87%. More than 50% of all near-me searches result in an offline conversion. So even if you're more bricks and mortar than you are online, it's SEO and creative campaigns are still really important. SEO and digital PR ROI can reach up to 12 times marketing spend, and 88% of customers will call or visit a store within 24 hours of making a search or on a mobile device. So whatever kind of business you work for, SEO, online visibility is super important. So what I would kind of get in front of my stakeholders if I really wanted to start doing these creative campaigns are these here. So digital PR is only going to get more important thanks to the huge increase in online growth, which is only going to get more and more. Business owners can capitalize on this growth by creating campaigns that increase visibility, driving traffic, and then overall referrals. You need to start measuring the impact of your campaigns, the impact your campaigns are having on the bottom line via visibility, traffic, and conversions. Try strategic creativity, so try proactive, reactive, and planned if you're able. If you can't do the big planned campaigns due to budget restraints, have a go at reactive PR where you do newsjacking, or have a go at proactive where you've already got content on site, you turn that into a really news-friendly press release and you get that out to journalists. And this works best, this is most important, when it's supported by good content and technical SEO. So I realized I went over loads then. Lots of information, so I hope you all found that useful. If you've got any questions, please come ask me afterwards. Thanks.